Tracy here with the Oasis for Natural Healing. Oops, hang on. All right. So, joining on tonight, well, a couple things. I am so excited. I get goosebumps like actually doing muscle testing. And one of the biggest things was one of my patient wins, and it's too big not to share. Um, and it's a patient of mine, and it's a little kid. Not going to get into too many details about this, but it really just warms my heart. He's been a patient of mine for over 3 months now, and this little boy has been through so much, so much, and um, he's had a lot of health issues, and he had Hirschsprung's disease. And if you don't know what that is, it's usually like they're born with it. Kids can be born with it, and they're missing certain nerve cells in the colon. And it can be really devastating for the parents. And what happens is a lot of times these kids are not able to have bowel movements on their own. So a lot of them need surgery. Sometimes they have to have part of their colon removed. Sometimes they have to wind up with a colostomy. And a lot of times they need like irrigations, meaning enemas. And these are young kids that you're talking about. Like, they're born with it. So they're constantly in, having to deal with these things. And it's very stressful for the mom, the dad, the family. And it's hard seeing your kids like that. And this little boy was already seeing an acupuncturist. And then they got referred to our office and still seeing acupuncture. So sometimes it takes like multiple modalities to get people on their path. And the funny thing is that people don't believe that the body can necessarily heal. And the body is so amazing. And so this little boy comes to me, not able to poop. We had a huge win last 2 weeks. And he's not just he's not just seeing me. We found out multiple things. We found parasites, we found there are supplements that can actually stimulate the body to actually start regenerating cells and tissues and organs and things like that. And he's not been able to ever poop on his own, really. And he's also having energy work done. So we're doing a lot of things for him. He's still seeing the acupuncturist. He's seeing me, and he's doing energy work. And 2 weeks in a row, he's actually able to have bowel movements on his own. And I know that doesn't seem like a big deal, but when you're talking about Hirschsprung's disease, that's a huge deal. I mean, there was times that he would come into my office, and quite honestly, I would look at him, and I even got a little bit nervous. This is poor little belly. He's 4. And he would get really distended. And he just did not look like himself. And to see him several weeks in a row laughing and playing, and the relief on his mom's face. And to see him being able to have this, and he was ready to have surgery. That's what the surgeons want. They want to have more surgery and him possibly have a colonoscopy. And it gets very frustrating because mom's trying everything to do things naturally and does not want to have surgery, but doesn't know which way to go. Because it was up and down. And I won't lie, it was up and down. And to see him coming in with smiles on his face, his belly not distended, and him for to be able to poop on his own. You guys don't know how big that is. That's huge. So he was actually able to go to the bathroom on his own. Not every single day, but like 3 times, like last week. This week he's gone twice on his own, 2 times each day. That is like freaking huge. Huge, 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 huge wins. And he's happy and he's like jumping up and down. His sister's happy because this is like a whole family thing. So the body is able to heal, guys. And it might take time. It's not an overnight fix, but the body can heal. And sometimes we need a couple things to help it, not just one or the other, not just acupuncture, not just muscle testing. Sometimes we need multiple things. And that's okay. But when you give the body support, it can start doing its job. So to me, this is a really huge win because when we can keep this up, then his chances of surgery start decreasing and going down to zilch. And that's huge. Because I don't want to see this little boy have a colon needing a colostomy if we don't have to. Getting his bowels regulate naturally is amazing. Because she's done all the things. Enemas like fiber and all. She's taken a lot of different things on, to do this. And this is the power of acupuncture and muscle testing and energy work. It works, guys. So, huge win. Also wanted to talk. So a lot of people, excuse me, want to know what the MVX Plus test actually is. So I am actually going to pull up. So 2 patients, their MVX Plus test results. And we're going to go over them together. Let me see if I can do this without losing you guys. Okay. Fudge, how do I? All right. Okay. All right. So I don't know. Oops. I don't know if you guys can see this. I'm hoping you guys can. I'm actually going to hang on, see if I can actually see this on Facebook to make sure that you guys can see this, because nobody is right now on yeah, like I said, I hope that you guys, we will. Okay, so, and yes, I can actually see this. So, all right, very good. So this is, I'm going to go to, oops, nope, this one. Okay, so this is a patient of mine. And actually, both of them are the same patient. Started, got this done in January of this year. And this is what the results were. I'm going to go over each one. So, metabolic vulnerability index. Now, these numbers can change in literally like just a couple, like 4 to 6 weeks. And these are not set in stone. This number right here is influenced by all these numbers down here. This is what is the chance of a mortality incident rate over the next 5 years. And they've actually done studies again on this blood work. They did it over a 10-year period on over 300,000 patients. And they found out that this blood test is actually more accurate on indicating how well a person and how healthy a person is than combining all the comorbidities, which is like heart attack, strokes, diabetes, things like that. CBC, CMPs, this gives a better indication of your overall health. Again, studied over a 10-year period on over 300,000 patients. This number, we want below 30. Now, we have different interval ranges than this. This is kind of like what Western medicine does. Just like functional medicine physicians, they have a different range of values that they look at when they look at your blood work. Well, same thing with this. So this is kind of more like what Western medicine would look like on this side. Well, we have a different range value, and I'm going to go over that. So this we want below 30. The lower the number, the better. Some of my colleagues have seen this go as low as 7. We definitely want this under 30. And at under 30, that would be like a 0 to less than 5% chance of a mortality incident rate in the next 5 years. So she's more like at a 10, 15% chance at being at 51. Inflammation vulnerability index. How much inflammation is in the body? Well, we know that inflammation can lead to disease. We want this number right here in the 20s. The lowest that some of my colleagues have seen is in the teens. We want this at no higher than the 20s. This person's at 43, so there's some inflammation. Now, glyc. This is how much inflammation is in the body and infection. It doesn't necessarily differentiate between like acute infection versus a chronic infection or what type of infection, like candida, bacteria, mold. But it does let me know that, hey, there's probably an infection going on somewhere. We want this number below 300. Now, this number, small HDL particle number, this has to do with actually your immune system, toxicity levels in the body. This is partly your cholesterol. This number, the higher the number, the better. We want this at least 19. This person is at 13.8. So this gives me an idea, hey, and this kind of goes along with the glyc, like how well is her immune system being able to function properly? Does she have toxins built up in the body? How well is her body able to get rid of toxins? So this is pretty low. Again, we want this around 19. Metabolic malnutrition index number. Are you able to utilize your nutrients? Are you breaking it down properly? Are you eating the right things for your body? Are you missing nutrients like vitamins, minerals, things like that? The lower the number, the better. We want this in the 40s, preferably lower 40s. She's at 61. These numbers all make up the metabolic malnutrition index. Citrate has a lot to do with mitochondrial function. Can be kidney and liver as well. How well is the mitochondrial functioning? Are your kidneys and liver able to filter out things properly? Citrate, we want this between 1.6 and 2.0. Valine, leucine, and isoleucine, these are proteins. So are you eating a proper diet? Are you having too many carbs? Or maybe it's not that you're having too many carbs, but maybe you're not able to digest your proteins and utilize your proteins. Maybe you need digestive help. If you're too low or too high, could also mean a thiamine, vitamin B1 deficiency. So valine, we want around 200. So she's not too off. And when this person started with me, she was trying to improve her diet. Leucine and isoleucine. Leucine is a little bit on the low side. So we want this around 110, and isoleucine we want around 55. So with this patient, we found candida, we found parasites, Lyme co-infection, and toxins. We also did find a vitamin B1 deficiency, and we found some mitochondrial dysfunction. So we handled all of that, and she's been with me for just under 3 months now, and we did a repeat MVX plus test. And this now is same patient, and this was just taken recently. So her metabolic vulnerability index went down to 40. Now, previously it was 51, so 10 points. Huge. Oh, and actually the previous results are right there. So that makes it easier. So she was previously at 51, now she's at 40. Her inflammation went from 43 to 31. So we're close to the ideal range of where we would like to be. So I'm very, very proud of her on this. Glycade did go up a little bit, but there's also a reason for that. So a lot of times what happens is when you can get new exposures, when we start killing off parasites, they release gunk into the body, which can cause inflammation. So again, this is not just infection, but it's also inflammation too. Sometimes parasites can release other things. So parasites are notorious for large parasites can have smaller parasites in them. So when we start killing them off, they can release all that. So this can temporarily go up. It doesn't mean that she's actually getting worse. Now, if this stays up or even continues to elevate after a period of time, then we want to make sure that we're looking for hidden things. So, but that kind of also makes sense because somewhere in between here and here, she did start muscle testing for candida, which parasites can hold on to that too. And we've been treating this. We've been treating the candida. So that kind of makes sense a little bit on this number going up a little bit. I'm not too concerned with that. The small HDL particle number jumped, which is what we want. We want this around 19 minimum. And she went from 13.8 to 17.9. So we know that we've been moving the toxins out of her system. We're decreasing the inflammation. Her metabolic malnutrition index number improved from 61 to 55. Do we still have a little bit of ways to go with diet? Yes. But big improvement. Citrate went up a little bit. Now, our ideal is 1.6 to 2.0, but this can actually go up in a lot of different cases, especially when you're doing a detox case, because the liver has to process more. So it doesn't mean that she's necessarily getting worse. This can jump around a bit, especially during a parasitic cleanse or a heavy metal detox cleanse. But her overall numbers are improving. Her metabolic vulnerability, so we have to look at the big picture too. Metabolic vulnerability improved. Inflammation improved. Small HDL particle improved. The metabolic malnutrition index improved. Her valine improved. Her leucine improved, and her isoleucine is a little bit high, but we're giving a little bit more digestive support and stuff like that. So she's trying to improve her protein intake as well. And so we've been giving a little bit of digestive support to help her utilize that. So overall, huge improvement. So things are moving in the right direction. And like I said, certain numbers can bounce out around a little bit, especially when you're doing a heavy metal cleanse or a heavy metal detox cleanse. So huge improvements for her. And oops, let me see. Okay, very good. So, oh, good. I'm glad that you can see it, Connie. So, yeah. So that is, sorry, I can't see the comments when I was sharing the screen because I was looking at a different tab. So wanted to, yeah, so just wanted to kind of show that. And that's what the MVX Plus test does. So if that is something that you're interested in, and possibly you can get that, there's only like 4 states that you can't get it. Rhode Island is one of them. I'm going to share in the comment section down below on where you can order and to get more information on the MVX Plus test and to order it and things like that. I'm going to share that in the comment section in just a little bit, and I'll put that up there. Actually, let me see if I can actually do this now. Hang on one second, and I will get that up for you. And that way, if you guys wanted to order the MVX Plus test, you guys are more than welcome to do so. It'll be in the comment section. If you have any other questions, please don't hesitate to reach out, 708-694-4092, or just put it in the comment section. Have a good night, guys.